This is problem 26 for test 3 review, and we're going to solve this word problem, and I'm showing it to you in two ways. These two steps here are one way you can solve the problem. You find the amount of decrease and then divide the amount of decrease by the original amount. The other way right here is by using this equation, and I can explain how that will work. So the question is, the price of a printer was reduced from $400 to $280. What was the percent of decrease? When you're used to using this equation over here, what we're finding is the whole would be the original amount, and the part would be the amount of decrease. And when you set it equal to percent over 100, that's what gives you your percent. In this case here, when you get to your answer, you'll have to convert it to percent. So I should add that step in this situation, because that would be the difference in using those two methods. So let's work on the problem. I'm going to solve it using this one first. So I'm going to put in the part, which is the amount of decrease is the part. Let's type that in. Part equals amount of decrease. Whole, the whole equals the original amount. Percent, in this case, because it's saying what percent, is the X, and then 100 just stays 100. So let's plug in these numbers. If the amount of decrease is 400 minus 280, so that's 120. And the original amount simply equals 400. And the percent is X. So let's plug in our values. We have 120 for the part. We have X for the percent. And we have 400 for the whole. And we have 100. So given this, I plugged in these numbers here into this equation, and now I have these numbers to solve the problem. So we'll move it down here and solve it. So we will have, we're doing it just like we do cross multiplication to solve a proportion. So 120 times 100 set equal to 400x. 120 times 100 equals 400x. And so what we can do is divide each side by 400. And that 400 over 400 is 1. 1 times x leaves x alone. This is also divided by 400 to keep it balanced. So our x is going to equal to this math here. Well, this 100 over the 400 we can reduce a little bit. Let's get rid of those zeros. That's dividing by 100 on both of those numbers. So you have 120 over 4, which is really 4 into 120, which is really 30 is equal to x. So with this situation, 30 is your percent. 30%. Because you used this in your equation, you have calculated percent. Now with this problem here, we're going to take the amount of decrease, 120, we calculated that. Put it over the original amount of 400. So our answer comes out as 0.3, which is good. Because when you change the decimal to a percent, or when you're adding a percent sign, so we're going to add a percent sign, we multiply by 100, which means you move the decimal 2 places over, and that's how you get 30%. So in this problem, you have to convert your answer to the percent. Using this method, it's already given percent.